Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, they had this to say earlier this summer when Klay officially was headed to Dallas.
Not having Klay, man, it still hasn't really sunk in. Just because you've been doing it for 13 years together, and I kind of have this idea that in October he'll still hey guys, what's up? But I know it's not happening.
When the season starts next year, it's going to be really weird, and I know we're all going to have that date circled when he comes back to Chase, and that will be one of the strangest, most emotional nights of all of our careers, for sure.
You know what else? That was my exclusive conversation with Steph Curry, Steve Kerr ahead of the Olympics. But this gives us, when Klay returns to the Bay November 12th, in the NBA, you kind of have opening week, the first couple of games, and then it's Christmas, right? Yeah. There's sort of that in-between time that no one knows what to do with. This gives us appointment viewing, Tim, in November. What do you expect to see from Klay in that game?
Well, first of all, obviously very emotional for him. I don't think Klay Thompson ever wanted to be in another uniform. I think a lot of things led to this moment, and now he's going to make his return. Going to be strange for all people involved. But I think for Klay Thompson, what you always think about is this. I have so much respect and admiration for him because of how competitive he is and the bar he's set for himself. And at times, I think, though, he tries to make it happen too hard. I've described it as squeezing the ball too tightly when you shoot. And you can see it sometimes when you go through a shooting slump because the standard was so high, his own expectations. So let's see how he handles the emotion of that moment, knowing full well the statement he wants to make, not only about to the Golden State Warriors, but who he is as a player and who he has been historically, particularly on a team now that can contend for a title. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Klay manage those emotions and having a big night against his former team.
Absolutely. Andraya, what do you think here?
I fully believe Klay will come out and play with a sense of freedom on this Dallas Mavericks team because he trusts that the Mavericks wanted him, and that was the biggest piece when it came to him leaving the Warriors. The biggest thing for me, though, that I want to see in this game is what do the Warriors do for Klay? I was a sideline reporter earlier last season when Jordan Poole returned to Golden State. They had a lovely tribute video, and with all due respect to Jordan Poole, this tribute video and whatever they do for Klay should be special. It should be monumental. They should play Klay Thompson highlights at every single timeout. They should do a multitude of things to welcome him back and show how special and important he was to the dynasty that was the Golden State Warriors. So for me, it's what do the Warriors do to welcome Klay back, and how do those fans welcome Klay back?
If I know Raymond Ritter with the Golden State Warriors, he's going to be all over that, Perk.
Yeah.
I mean, look, when you depart from your home, a team that drafted you, a team that, you won 4 championships with, they're not just coworkers, that's your family, right? That's Klay's brother, and they feel the same way about Klay Thompson. And the competitive spirit in Klay is going to want to go back and bust their ass, right? But it's going to be hard. Steve Kerr talked about the emotions of when a guy comes back, especially of Klay caliber. I got traded from Boston. When I left Boston, when I went to OKC, and when I went back for my first game, it was emotional because you have personal connections and relationships with everybody in the arena, from the security staff to the lady that's bringing out the food in the media room to the ball boys and the towel guys. Like, everybody across the board you have a relationship with, and it's hard to get your mentality right. And I can only imagine what Klay is going to be feeling walking back into the arena and playing against his brothers that he built so much legendary history with. It's going to be hard, but he still want to bust their behind.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, because when you're seeing that the ball boys and the folks who helped you be you day in and day out for years, win 4 championships, it's really hard to then flip that switch and go out and say, you know what, now between those 4 lines, I kind of want to kill you in here, right? But that's going to be what Klay Thompson's going to want to do, and since things sort of dissolved toward the end of his tenure, it's going to be interesting to see how that lights maybe an extra fire here for Klay Thompson. All right.
I'm on fire. It's NBA,